Well, welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach in Central Texas. Today, I'm sitting down with Lewa Owolabi, who is the founder and CEO of Arise Homes. So excited to be jumping in, having some conversation about just this journey in entrepreneurship and learn a little bit more about business and all of those sorts of things. So, Lewa, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. Let's start with just a little bit of background. Give us kind of the 10,000 foot view of who you are and tell us a little bit about Arise Homes.
Thank you, Tanner, and I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invite. And yeah, a little bit about myself, Lewa, Owolabi, like you've mentioned. I am originally West African, Nigeria to be precise. First daughter of a family of four, and the only girl as well. My earlier years were in West Africa. I spent quite my formative years over there before I moved into the United States over 15 years ago. And I am a lifelong learner. I have a career, over a decade-year old of career in the field of cybersecurity as well. I have a doctorate in that field as well. Yeah, I am the CEO and founder of Arise Homes. Arise Homes is a real estate development firm here in Austin, Texas. We specializes in creating affordable luxurious spaces that fits into the Austin market, into the demography, really. And yeah, that we've been doing that since 2017. Super proud of the growth in Austin. Glad of and so, I mean, this is home for me now. I don't imagine myself living elsewhere. But you can ask about my retirement plan afterwards. But for now, Austin is home. Glad of the community that we've built here in Austin, the local networks of the small businesses that we help and work alongside to bring the vision of Arise Homes into life, and glad to also continue to contribute to the growth that we see in our community. So to kind of reiterate again, glad to be here, glad to be talking with you today.
Excellent. Well, I love that. Out of curiosity, when you did move to the U.S., did you land in Austin first, or did you land somewhere else and then migrate to this amazing area that is Austin, Texas?
I'm laughing when you said that. I haven't really moved far. I mean, I landed in Dallas, so it's it's like, yeah, Texas here. You all, I'm here. I've been here in Texas, Dallas. So to answer your question, Dallas was home for me for I would say about 8 years in Dallas. Moved to Austin back in 2016. And yeah, I do have family back in Dallas, friends and family likewise. But again, Austin is home for me. I'm not going back to Dallas. So.
Well, as many people as I've met, because I'm not originally from Austin either. I'm originally from North Iowa, much, much, much colder up there than it is down here. And yeah, it's such an amazing place, especially looking back over, I think we moved in 2018. Just watching the progression of everything over the last, 5 years or so has just been absolutely phenomenal. Especially when you think of development and real estate and everything else like that. So I'm excited to kind of dive into a little bit more of what that journey has been like for you. Um, so kind of hitting a little bit more in the background, out of curiosity, background in cybersecurity, now in kind of real estate development company, that sort of thing. What led to that transition? Why real estate? Why real estate development?
I get asked that question a lot. And so I think one thing about me that's consistent is the redevelopment of self, right?
Hmm.
Constantly learning, constantly being aware of myself and testing the waters and just expanding overall. I'm a seer entrepreneur, and I'm also a lifelong learner. Like I said, I never just stop. I mean, I had to get a doctorate. Can you imagine? But to kind of answer your question around real estate, prior to founding Rise Homes in 2017, I have been in the real estate industry. Prior to that, I was just, I would say maybe back in 2014, I just my interest in real estate picked when I had to get my first home, right? Going
Mm,
through the process, and working with different realtors and just looking at houses. I also had a couple of friends. They're were more in the rental space, and they kind of like friends to talk about real estate. And my entry into real estate was more of a designing. So I kind of helped them design their spaces back then. But then as an entrepreneur, I started thinking about, okay, what is it, what is there to real estate? Real estate is it's a very very broad field. So when you say real estate, it could literally mean there's a lot of nuances to it, right? You could be in designing, you could be in development, you could just even be in the sales of real estate, land development. These are different areas of real estate. So kind of combining my learning capability. I took a training with Tan Merrill, and started learning about, the investment side of real estate. How can I build wealth? How can I build wealth for my family, for my children, and the next generation? I mean, it's being an immigrant to the U.S. that's which is now home to me. That was kind of my driver going into real estate. So like what I always do when I start having this incline, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, pray to God, is this something that I should be doing? And then looking at, what are the resources out there? What trainings could I take? How can I actually expand my knowledge in this field? So, which kind of set the motion of the training, then officially founded Rise Homes in 2017. And when I started with just, again, like I said, I was designing. So I had an eye, or I still have an eye for designing, putting pieces together, making it look beautiful. And I would get a lot of praises from friends and, oh, they love this, the space, how did you do this? Kind of set of links and things like that. And I just generally enjoy, in addition to all of this, things, good qualities that is necessary for being successful in anything. You need to really enjoy what you're doing, right? I just really found out that after the transformation of a space, from what it used to be, to what it could be, I enjoyed doing that process. I really enjoyed seeing the possibilities. Like when people see rubbles and when they see just a plain land, I could envision what could be there, and just working and transforming, through this transformational process and seeing the end product was really motivating for me. So started with just what's common, what people know as fix and flips, buying old homes and transforming them. So you would see, Rise Homes very early on was, majorly 100% fix and flips, right?
mhm,
Eventually, we've kind of evolved with the market, and now predominantly 100% doing land development, new development, building homes from scratch, which that's really kind of how the company has grown, has evolved to continue to meet the needs of our market. It gives me as a designer still, with my inner child, the ability to really see the vision and, see stuff from scratch versus remodeling the space that we still, could be challenging or dependent, right? There's just a limit to what you can do within an existing space. So yeah, that I would say kind of the transition, I found it to be rewarding, right? And as also an entrepreneur, on both sides, and also passion, right? So I get every single project is close to home for me. I find purpose with it. I tie back to our vision as a company. And, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're delivering results to our customers here in Austin. We're meeting the community needs. So I continue to, be a contributor to what Austin has come to be, right? Keep Austin weird, but still with the concept of social responsibility and what we do as a company, right? So
I love that. I absolutely love that. And God, I've got so many kind of little questions I want to ask along the way. So we'll get to a couple of them here. But so just thinking just the journey through a rise and starting as more fix and flip type deals, shifting now to land development and kind of doing bigger projects. For those that kind of know a little bit about real estate and real estate development kind of on the fringes, but they're not in it a lot. I mean, that's a fairly big jump to go from, the business model that is kind of fix and flip to now, doing development and such. How did that transition happen for you? Like what did that look like, or what did you have to learn to make that type of a jump within the business growth?
very good question. So I would say this. I I am a serial entrepreneur. I also I don't believe there is anything that's too big to actually, to do. So I am a believer that whatever if you can think about it, you can actually achieve it. You just need to you just need to create a path, find the right people, get the right information, learn if you need to, what is, look at, do an inward analysis and identify where do I need training on? What am I good at? Where do I need to expand? So, that's just the general principles that I live by. So tomorrow now, if next year I could be investing in a space, right? That's because I didn't see it as something that's, too far out there. But to be very specific around the transitional process from fix and flip to new development, I would say that yes, it can be very challenging because you're playing in a whole different ball game from fix and flip. But it can also, if that's really something that that's in alignment with a company's goals, it could be achievable, which is what we did. And like I tuned to you earlier on. My the transitioning phase for us came at a point just looking at the market, right? There is just there are demands for new construction. This is not, again, this is not a business that I'm just an investor. There are investors that just want to fix in place and get out, like, get in, get out. This is, I want to, I'm building a brand. I'm building something that would stand the test of time, right? So in order to be able to do that, there has to be no limitations from the drawing board to at the actual products that we sell, right? I want to make sure that there's, we put a stamp and the quality assurance on every single phase of development from, the even drawing the architecture, or, what does the house looks like, planning the interior spaces, designing, making use of what we have, right, to create something that is consistent with the environment of the demography that we're in, from the foundation to the plumbing phase to the framing. All of those things are, typically we have more control with it as a newer development than a fix and flip, right? So I'm not just in it to make quick bucks and say, we're in and out. We're just in and then, but this is something that, I want to this is something that we're building a brand that gets transferred from generation to generation. So Rhizome becomes a brand name in Austin, in Texas, all over the US as a builder of reputable quality. So that's really, I would say that was the driver for me, transition wise. I started, reaching out to, my contact, my network, and really amassing the power that, the network, the systems that I've built as, both as we did fix and flip. Construction wise, there's really not that much difference, right? It's just, understanding more codes, more what does the city, generally would, allow within a zone, understanding the zoning, understanding, working with the city a lot. Building those systems is really what I would say were the additional things that we invested in, myself and my team, to be able to go fully into newer developments.
Yeah, that is so cool. It's fun to just kind of see the different pieces and how scale kind of grows as you shift to this type of model. So when you move to this type of a model, is it a model where you start looking for outside investors to kind of work on this together? Is it all internal investment? As I know there's kind of different models out there, but what has kind of been y'all's philosophy to being able to take on a big project? Is it all done internally, or do you bring on or seek partners and investors that allow you to take on the projects that you want to do?
So I would, it's a good question. For now, we're 100% internally funded. But as we grow, right, of course, I recognize the need for partnerships, right, to bring in investors, and which is something that, that as a business we're working towards, the model of being able to get external investors to invest in our project. Really the where I see Rhizome's getting to, and it's been in our plans for a couple of a short amount of time now, is the ability to give the others the opportunity to also build generational wealth, right? To are able to invest in and crowdsource funding, or invest in irrespective of wherever you are all over the world, you're able to really invest in our projects based on tested quality, based on the brand that we've built, and be able to get returns of your investment. So but we do work with a lot of capital management firms right now, private funding, private lenders, to assist in development of our projects. And as as we grow bigger, and we go, which we are growing, it's important. We've been thinking about the model of bringing outside investors, and we're not at that space yet. So for now, it's just still 100% internally funded as a
Very
company.
cool. I love kind of how you broke that down, because I think that kind of helps for those that are maybe thought about real estate development or things like that, like down the road as they look at their business and wealth building and all of that kind of stuff. I think connecting some of those dots on what they hear versus like what actually happens, all that sort of thing is important. So I appreciate you kind of going through that. When you take on a project that you want to do, I always like to ask a general question around like, who is the customer? Who's your business serve, right? When you take on a project, is it the end person that's going to, be living in this type of a place that is the people that you serve? Is it another market? Like, how do you determine who your clientele, your customer is?
Um, that's a very critical question. Every business, you need to understand your customer. Like, who's your customer? And I remember answering this question very early on in my journey as a founder of Arise Homes, and kind of evolved my response over the years, every year actually. But one thing that, even though my response this year might be a little bit shifted in next year, come 2024, But one thing that it doesn't deviate from is the North Star, which is our mission statement, is creating affordable luxury, right? That is a goal. So, because when you then start asking, what is affordability? What does luxury mean? It means affordability means different things. It could be, it's totally different, but it's specifically based on demography, right? So, I grew up in a family of four, which I was the only girl. So I learned very early on to achieve so much with so little. So it's like you're in the middle of boys and they really don't want to do anything, and I'm responsible for everything, and I have to figure out, okay, and I need to do all of these things. So how can I do all of these things within the time that I have, and I still want to go out and enjoy my life? So it's, and just even growing up in Africa, of course, the resources that we had, being able to do much. So to me, when I think about, who is the rise of customer, it's really, built for the community. Homes are built for the community. It's an individual family that really wants luxury, right? But looking at the median, we look at the median, the median um, rate for a community and say, the media salary range, well, what are people moving into this community, and tend to build for them, right? That in the sense that, yes, in an area like Austin, in a particular zip code, you could have $2 million home in the same area that you could have like, $500, 500, half a million home. So it is very important that we're building what is considered affordable in that community, right? As well as the fact that it's affordable doesn't mean that it's lesser quality, right? It doesn't mean that it's not. We still end up creating, what does luxury mean? Luxury does not is quite expensive, at least in my dictionary, right? You could still get the look and the feel and the use of space and the color combinations that just gives a sense of luxury when you walk into your home without having to break the bank or having to commit to a long-term investment, because we all know mortgage is a 30-year, average 30, 15, yes. It's a long-term investment for most homeowners, right? Without having to break the bank for that, but just, affordable to you based on your income level. So, and those are our target customer, right? When you look at the cost of a build, and our pricing of our homes, they're rightly priced for the community that we built in, and for the people that are moving into that community to be able to afford the lifestyle that they want without breaking the bank, right? So you could, I don't want to mention names of other builders, but when you start comparing our homes with the top builders in the area and even nationwide, pretty much we deliver the same value, even if not more than that, because we're a small business. So I keep an eye on every single thing. So I'm involved in all of the process, right? Even though, yes, we don't have teams, we don't have, that we work with, we have partners, but every single detail, from picking up the tiles, the flooring, creating the space. Can we convert this to a usable space? Can we convert this to a reading corner? I'm involved in that process end to end for every single project. So, like I said, it's, all of our projects are dear to me. And the output of that is continue to deliver value for our buyers, while they are not necessarily paying a harm and a leg for it.
I love that. I want to be respectful of time, and I know I could probably just sit here for another hour and a half and just dive even deeper into this amazing conversation. But I do want to, bring out a couple additional kind of wisdom nuggets, things like that, from your entrepreneurship journey for the audience. So I've got 4 rapid fire questions. So we'll do top ahead answer best we can for each of these. But as you look at kind of your journey so far, both with the Rise Homes and kind of your entire journey prior to that, what would you say is kind of your key to success?
Evolving. I would say listening, to the market, listening to our customers, listening to our partners, and being nimble enough. And nimble means flexibility, right? To adapt and evolve wherever as needed, right? Yeah, we're continuing to reevaluating, uplifting our processes, removing redundancies where necessary, right? Taking cost in where we can, right? Bringing things in-house where we can, outsourcing where we cannot, right? Improving the quality of our product, getting feedback is what we do for every single product, for every single homes that we sell. We'll reach out to the homeowners and get the feedback, 1 month, 3 months down the line, just to reincorporate and see what's working, what's not, and be quick to adjust, right? So that I would say has been the continuous success of Arise Homes as a company.
I like that. I like that a lot. Um, as a fellow entrepreneur, what is one piece of advice that you would give to other entrepreneurs out there? If you could only give one, what piece of advice would you give them?
Um, I would say this, right? Um, you're doing great. I mean, just, I just want to start by saying that to every entrepreneur is out there. If you ever wonder how you're doing great. One piece of advice is, to never doubt, and when I say never doubt yourself, you created a product or a service, at what, and you're owning on it, and that's what you're working towards. Never doubt that there is a need that, for that product or for that your service out there. The goal is not to focus on what you think the product is. The goal is to focus on the value that eventually this product brings. So I think I state that with clarity because it would help as an entrepreneur to kind of wade through the uncertainties when they come, right? Asking the right questions, seeking help when necessary, as an entrepreneur. So you're not really focused on, I created a babysitting service, right? Is this really a good service? Yeah, everyone needs a babysitter, right? I mean, but then you're more focused on, okay, like the community I'm in, how can I deliver that babysitting services to them, in a much more, so you're not questioning what you have, you're questioning value, you're questioning alignment, right? And you're iterating, going back to the drawing board because of that. And you need the confidence to be able to do that. That's why I started with never doubt yourself, right? So even though eventually your product might change, your service might change down the line, it won't be totally different from where you started from, really.
Mm, I like that. As an avid learner, what is one book that you're either currently reading or read most recently that you would recommend to the audience?
Um, so funny, I just got a lot of audibles on Saturday because I do most of my readings while driving from one
Mhm.
side to another. And one book that I just got into that I that it's like mind-boggling is how emotions are created. So this is, it kind of explains how our emotions are formed, right? And I want to see the order. This was recommended to me by someone in a networking group, and a coaching group that I am in, and this was a book that came highly recommended, and I got it, and I say this highly recommended, especially from a self-awareness perspective, and trying to fully be more emotionally aware as a person, have more control of your emotions. So understanding how they even formed is super important, so you can be able to wait and figure out, how to maintain control of them.
I love that. That is putting it on my list
Mhm.
for sure. That is I don't think I've read one on that yet. So that is a topic I will have to dive
It's by
into.
Lisa Feldman Barrett.
Okay.
That's the author. It's How Emotions Are Made. Highly recommended. And I recommend the Audible if you are into voices, because I think they did an excellent job.
That is fantastic. I definitely am a Audible audiobook person for most of my reading. All right, final rapid fire question, then we'll kind of move to the final question of the day. And this one's just kind of fun. If you could choose just one area in the business, you could only choose one that you can sprinkle some magic dust on and wake up tomorrow and it's 10 times better than it is today, where would you choose to put that magic dust?
So imagine I'm Aladdin. I'm just like doing my magic round.
That's right, exactly.
I would say, where I'm not this, not to sound cliche or anything, right? Is my people.
Hmm.
If I could spring some sort of magic on my, just, uh, on my people, I would definitely, that would be my first part. Uh, I, I'm Lewa, but the Rhizomes is not a Rhizomes without the team behind it, without our partnerships and our network, especially my core team. They do a lot behind the scenes. So there's one area that I choose to continue to improve on consistently would definitely be giving them the best work-life harmony,
Mm.
balance, bringing out the best in them, right, in whatever capacity that they're comfortable with, or what in alignment with their own dreams. So, because it's just we're not in Horizons is not without the team behind it. So yeah, I would if they're. I'm sure they would watch this interview, right, consistently. Um,
What an amazing place to put that little bit of magic. Leo, before we wrap up with the final question here, for those that are watching that want to follow the amazing work that y'all are doing, that want to learn more about Arise Homes, where can we advise them to go for more information?
so I would definitely say Instagram is a good place. Um, the best places are definitely our Instagram accounts. We have Arise Homes and Design as our Instagram account. You're able to keep up. You're able to see a lot of our progress. Status updates on our inventory as well, what we have on the market, what we've sold, reviews from customers, what goes into the process. If you're just like interested, trying to learn, trying to see, how does our home get built, log and follow us on Instagram. Website is also a good tool. It's very easy to maneuver. It's www.arise.homes. There's no .com because I get asked a lot. Is there .com at the end? No, it's just arise.homes. Yeah, it does have a lot of resources on there. So yeah, between those, I think you'll get pretty caught up with us.
Excellent. I will be sure to put it all in the video notes here below. So once we wrap up here, make sure you go click on the links, check out all the amazing things there. But as we wrap up, I like to end on one final question. That question is simply, what is most inspiring to you today?
Okay, as a mother of a 1-year-old, right? I think the most inspiring thing for me today is I when I was dropping, my son is still learning to work. Um and he never gets tired of just trying, right? He stands up and he's like doing it all by himself. And I do the drop-offs every morning. And as I was dropping off at school today, I was going getting to his class, and I was about to drop him off. And he just make the, like push, like he wants to work into the class himself. This is someone that used to have to hold his hands. And that kind of, that confidence, and the ability to keep trying every single time, in respective of even hearing no, that you're inconvenienced me. I'm not saying you're, it's an inconvenience, but I need to carry you because I need to drop you off and get out. But it's like I need to work, so you have to be patient with me. So I think yeah, that continues to inspire me. So if you ask who's my greatest inspiration, is my son. And that he continues to inspire me. That was one thing that I took out of that, that interaction. And yeah, it's, just energizing me through the day to not take no for an answer and just walk within the comfort of my goal. Yeah.
It's amazing the little nuggets of inspiration you can get from children in general, and just the way they operate naturally is just it's an amazing thing when you take a step back and just kind of take a look at it. So, well, I want to say thank you again for taking the time to be here. This has been a genuine pleasure. As I mentioned before, I we could sit here for 2-3 hours, and I know we would have a phenomenal conversation. But thank you so much for being here and sharing as much as you have today.
Thank you, Tanner, for having me. It's definitely a pleasure to be here, and to be able to, talk to you today. It's one thing that I am a supporter for is sharing as much information as I can. So yeah, if anyone, if any viewer wants to reach out to me, feel free to. I have a personal Instagram account, send a DM, and just ask any questions that, about anything that you think I might be able to answer for you.
I love that. Thank you again. Highly encourage that for everyone here watching. Go send a DM, say hi, say that sort of thing. Is it's amazing to make connections. So thank you.